What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone out there is doing well on a Friday, getting ready for championship week of the college football season. We got some great games coming your way this week. As you're listening to this on a Friday, we've got two interesting group of five games coming up in championship week. So, yeah, overall, guys, I hope you all out there are doing well on a Friday. As always, you know where to find us, guys. You can follow us on a bevy of your favorite platforms out there. You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok at BD Sportscast. You can find all of our content there. If you want to listen to the podcast only version of the Breakdown Sportscast, of course, you know where to find us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, whatever your favorite podcast application, you can listen to all of our past and present episodes of the show there. And also, if you listen to our live simulcast here on our official YouTube channel and our official Twitch channel at Breakdown Video Game Cast, we appreciate you guys' support there. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, to the content. It's definitely important for Chris as we continue to build this channel with you all. Of course, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers, guys. And look, this is the holiday season, the season of giving, guys. Let your friends, your family know about the Breakdown Sportscast. If we can get to 100 subscribers, we will put your name in for a raffle to potentially win some free swag of your favorite school of your choosing, courtesy of Chris and myself. So thank you for what you guys do here on the Breakdown Sportscast. So I think that would be a very good Christmas present
Yes, sir.
under the tree.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, guys, as always, we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, y'all, you know I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm doing all right this way. How about yourself, Kory?
I'm doing good, doing good. Just enjoying the month of December, the season
Mm-hmm.
of giving. Of course, it's the holidays. It's always fun seeing everyone happy.
You see
Just
all the
being with
Christmas
family. Yeah,
decorations and
Christmas
all that.
decorations. Yeah,
Yeah,
college
yeah.
football playoffs coming. That's a present within itself.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, brother. Yeah, man. No, everything is good my way too. So I'm ready for championship weekend. It's crazy. I remember when it was week 0, when it was Farmageddon.
And yeah, that was a great week by itself. We had some great
And
football that week.
we had some great games that weekend. Here we are. It's already championship weekend. You know,
Exactly.
Georgia, Alabama. You know, I mean, these two teams is one or the other. One or the other winning the SEC championship every season. It seems like Kory is crazy.
Mhm.
So, no, we got a fun rivalry in that one. Just a lot of great games this weekend. So, it should be a nice little early gift before we get to the playoff.
Exactly. I definitely agree, Chris. So yeah, man, a great week indeed coming our way, and yeah, man, I can't wait for us to delve into these games and see who's going to come out on top. Because man, by the time these games are done and we get to Sunday, definitely going to be interesting to talk about that on our live edition of the Breakdown Sportscast, Chris, where we can definitely talk about the winners and the losers of those games and talk about potential playoff seeding at that point in bowl games. So it's this is a big time for the sport of college football. This is what we live for.
Yeah, yeah. You know, potentially we could right after they release them go ahead and go live because it will be a lot to break down and talk about. There's gonna be some people snubbed, a couple teams that feel like they should have made the cut that won't make the cut. So we'll have plenty to talk about.
Exactly. I definitely agree, partner. It's gonna be a lot to talk about indeed. Well, This has been an interesting week, Chris. Of course, we got the big games coming up this weekend, but before we have these big games earlier this week, and pretty much finishing up or here on this Friday, we've had the early signing period, or I think we should call it National Signing Day, because National Signing Day has lost its luster in the month of February.
I must say this is signing day now, man. When you getting 30 kids to sign the papers, it's the new signing day.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that one, Chris. Yeah, man. But yeah, National Signing Day, the early signing period, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it National Signing Day at this point. Is definitely wrapping up. It was an interesting week, Chris. And look, me and you, this is what we live for, and watching the future stars announce where they're going to be headed for the next couple of years of their collegiate careers. This is how championship teams are made, folks.
Yeah,
It starts
literally.
with National Signing Day. And yeah, man, we got some great stories about National Signing Day overall. Some big winners, some big losers that we're gonna talk about a little bit. I'll start with you, Chris. I know you were looking just like I was looking all Wednesday, and for the most part this week, in terms of just where everyone was in terms of getting players into their programs, building, cultivating um, a great ecosystem of talent that can help them win for next year and beyond. What were your thoughts about this year's National Signing Day? Who were some of your biggest winners and losers of the week?
I think when you look at winners, there's several winners. But I do have to give credit to Tennessee. I think you have to mention Tennessee and the haul that Josh Heupel was able to pull in. Hey, Kory, I'm from Hattiesburg. Look, Tristan Keys is ridiculous. I mean, it hurts my heart to see him leave the state of Mississippi. And if you're gonna leave the state of Mississippi, at least go to Georgia, brother. But no, he's going to Tennessee, and he's one of them ones. He's special. He's an elite prospect. He's been one of the top wide receivers in this class for some time, and just overall one of the top players in the nation. And he's going to be I think he'll see the field day one, Kory. I think he'll be in the rotation and can potentially have like a Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith kind of impact and grow into a starter. Like he has that kind of skill set. So I think Tennessee did a great job getting him. They have other players, Legend Bay, other guys that they were able to haul in. So they got Tennessee has a great class full of blue chippers. So I got to give them credit. I also got to give credit, Kory, to Virginia Tech, James Franklin. Hey, the players, they tell you to go to school for the school. But these guys, they clearly love James Franklin. A lot of guys flipped from Penn State, came on over to Virginia Tech. They want to play for the James Franklin, the man that he is. Say what you want about him as a coach. You can tease about him not winning at the highest level, but he is definitely recognized as a great man. And these kids want to play for James Franklin. They had several four-star guys flipping to Virginia Tech to the point where VT has a top 25 class, Kory. So you got to give credit to Virginia Tech for that. And last but not least, Mississippi State. We, when when things were looking rough, Kory, it was looking real rough a few days ago. We were looking at this class and we're like 62 in the nation. Ooh, and this is SEC school. This ain't gonna cut it. They turn things around, Kory. Top 30 class, almost in some rankings, you'll see it's a top 25 class. That's big. You get a 5-star safety to come on campus as well. You know, this is a big win, a big week for Jeff Lebby, especially after how the season played out. It's how you win the fans back. So I think those three schools, most notably, had great signing days.
I agree with you, Chris. Yeah, just a amazing week for a couple of those teams out there. I mean, look, even West Virginia. Look. I know we come after Rodriguez a lot in terms of his time in Michigan. Of course, the tail end of West Virginia and the return of him at West Virginia. But hey, he's definitely all in on trying to make this thing right at West Virginia with him making this second coming, his return years down there. So yeah, gotta give our kudos out to West Virginia and what they're trying to do as well because they got into the top 25. They're currently ranked at 25 with their class. So yeah, man, I think for James Franklin, heck of a job. He came in saying that he was going to help change this program and turn it into a consistent winner. And like I mentioned, Chris, it starts here. It starts with signing guys, bringing in the right guys to build a culture, a winning culture in your program. If you want to win, it starts here on National Signing Day, and looks like all of these guys definitely put in the work to get to where they're at. One other thing I gotta know: Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. You flipped a 5-star quarterback.
Yes,
It got him into your program, big time.
Curtis is a big time player. He's a
Mm-hmm.
dog,
Yeah,
and to get him and to have him potentially take the mantle from a Diego Pavia and have it get passed on to him, take the baton. That's big. That's big. So and under Clark Lee's guidance and leadership, I feel good about what he can do at Vandy. And Vandy didn't stop there, Kory. They flipped the top receiver.
yeah, yeah. It was it. I know they have Owen Cable
Mm-hmm.
as a wide receiver from Nashville as well. Six
They
two
got
and a
some.
half.
Yes, they got some dogs coming in this class, and that's just the recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy's going to be making noise in the portal, Kory. I'll tell you this. I think Vandy will have a top 8 portal class this upcoming off season. I'm gonna go ahead and predict it. A top 8 portal class because they got the money. Vandy is invested in winning, and they are going to give Clark Lee all the resources. And potentially, if they don't make the playoff this year, you don't think them people are going to be upset? Best season in school history. We don't make the playoff. You don't think they're going to be motivated to try to repeat and replicate this season? Vandy isn't going anywhere.
Not at all. Not at all. Look, people should fear Vandy for next season. I think Clark Lee is cooking up some. He cooking up some of the meanest soup in Nashville. Like, like look, you want to try the guy's soup at Tennessee? Try my soup. Like, look, come over here. I'm cooking barbecue. I'm bringing it all to y'all. Like,
Hot chicken. You know they
hot
got good hot
chicken.
chicken.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. like he hooking everybody up. Like Vandy, Nashville is where you want to be at, and Vandy is making sure that is pretty much the talking point every season. Bringing in big blue chip talent, like a Jared Curtis, is big for that program, Chris. That's the kind of stuff that really gets people talking about your program for years to come. And a
And
guy
it's from
like
an SEC foe too. It's
yeah,
like one thing to flip
from
someone who's
Georgia.
big time, but you pull them from somebody who you more times than not are going to play against.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy times that we're living in, Chris. If anyone would have told me coming in from the future, they would have told little old me in the past. They would have told you in the past, Chris, like, hey, Vandy's going to take blue chip 5-star talent away from teams like Georgia, we would have been like, you out your mind.
Leave. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Stop wasting my time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go back into the future, wherever world you're from. And like that'll never happen in my world. And now that is happening in our world, Chris. These things are happening, and hey, we talk about it ad nauseum on this show, Chris. NIL. This is this this is the era of NIL and bringing in talent through that and utilizing that war chest that a lot of schools actually have and can actually utilize to make their teams better. And Nashville, those folks in Nashville, they're really doing some things out there with Vandy. And hey, watch out
Ain't no
come
fun when the rabbit got the gun. It was one thing when the big schools could all of a sudden you wake up in the morning, it's a brown bag on the front porch. Now you can legally have said brown bag be at the front porch, and it is everybody that is able to do so. So yeah, ain't no fun when them doctors and lawyers got the gun out there in Vandy.
I agree. Look, I can't say anything else after that. Oh man, but no, you're absolutely right, Chris. So yeah, man, this is the world that we're in now, and hey, you got to keep up. You got to keep up, or get left behind because hey, this is how teams are made. This is how winning teams are cultivated. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see what happens with when Jared Curtis makes his way in the Vanderbilt. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to call his games.
Yeah, I mean, because he's a Tennessee kid. He was making those drives, and put in the work. Continue to go to a small Christian school, and to see him end up staying in Tennessee and going to Vandy, man, like you said, huge for the Doors. This can propel Vanderbilt for the next 4 years, Kory.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Chris. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting indeed. So, but yeah, man, but National Signing Day, whole bunch of stuff going on. As we're recording this on a Thursday evening, with you good folks out there, Chris Henry Jr., top wide receiver. Still don't know if he's going to Ohio State. Word is could be going to Oregon. It looks like Oregon's making that late game push, Chris. So hey, it look.
Hey, everything changed when Brian Hartline said I'm going to South Florida.
Boy, did it ever.
I mean, he's been the guru. It was the wide receivers coach, former wide receiver at Ohio State. Gave him the reins to be the OC. And we see how the offense has been. And it's tough, man, when you lose a recruiter like him. He's been the wide receiver whisperer, Kory.
Yeah.
Like over the last, 6 years? Each class, just somebody who's going to play on Sundays. Nothing but first-round picks.
I know. It's scary in the way that he's brought in some of these blue chip talents at the receiver position, Chris.
It's real 2001 Miami like Butch Davis Miami days.
I know.
Nothing but great receivers coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, man, it just shows that how good of a recruiter Brian Hartline is, and now he's going to South Florida. I look at that as a strategic plan. I know you do as well, Chris. In going down to the state of Florida, to coach South Florida, to be around all of these great talents at the receiver position in the state of Florida. And look, he's probably if he succeeds, and I think he will there in a few years with. Probably not in a few years. Oh yeah. I think he just needs 1 year. I think he's gonna be side eyeing that Florida State job like crazy, Chris.
Now, Florida State fans will be side eyeing him and be like, "Hey, hurry this up! You see what they doing?"
You see what Brian Hartline's doing over
You
at
see you see what's
USF?
going on in Tampa? They 10-2, 11-1 playoff.
And
We six
look
and
at us.
six
Oh my gosh.
going to the
Oh.
Birmingham Bowl.
Oh my
No
gosh.
respect, Birmingham. No disrespect, Birmingham.
Hey, no
Hey,
disrespect to
no
Birmingham.
disrespect, but yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. Yeah, it's hey, if I'm a Florida State fan, I'm looking very closely down there in Tampa while looking at your coach right now and seeing what's going on between the two programs, and you know seeing how you could probably sneak in and pick up one of the hottest recruiters out there in the country in Brian Hartline. So just saying it. Gotta throw that out there.
Got to. Uh, So yeah, man, it's it's gonna be very interesting. There's been a little bit of shakeup in the coaching ranks.
Yeah.
Some guys getting their first stab at some big time jobs. So it's gonna be it'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out next couple seasons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens with Norvell and all of these different coaches out here. Trying to make a name for themselves. Trying to build their programs. Yeah, it's definitely going to be even bigger of a season next year once we get there. So yeah, man. Yeah, National Signing Day pretty much wrapped up. Now, Chris, are you all ready to delve into Championship Week?
Yes, sir. Let's make it happen.
All right, all right. So here we are, folks. We got Championship Week. Let's go ahead, kick things off with the SEC Championship game, Chris. Georgia taking on Alabama. The line has Georgia as a 2.5 point favorite. Over under is at 48.5. So, what we're looking at, Chris, in this game. Look, we saw Alabama beat Georgia in Athens earlier in the season. It was a big win for the Crimson Tide. Can they do it again in the SEC championship game where it matters and potentially help with their seeding in the college football playoff? Well, what we're looking at.
Yeah, Kory, this is a interesting matchup. Very interesting matchup. Always a crazy game. Very entertaining game. Whether it's a shootout or a defensive battle between these two teams. Um, Now, I think something of note, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama had a high third down success rate when these two teams played earlier this season. I mean, converted double digit third downs at a high, that's a high amount of third downs to convert. And ultimately kept the offense on the field. Bama finds a way to leave Athens, Georgia with the dub. I think that is a stat that is of note because I think this game does hinge on getting Alabama's offense off the field on third downs. And more notably, can Georgia force Alabama into third and longs? We know Alabama struggles with running the football. That isn't their forte. That's not what Kalen DeBoer teams hang their hat on. So if you can force Alabama to be in a 3rd and 7 or longer, and you know that they are going to pass, and you kind of take away that option for Ty Simpson to make plays with his legs, Kory, I think Georgia could win. But I think that's where the game rests at. I think Georgia will be able to put up points. I think Georgia will be able to slow down Alabama's running game. I don't think they'll run for 100 yards. I think Alabama will be lucky to crack 75 rushing yards. This game falls on Ty Simpson and his receiving core. Can you slow down these receivers? Because Alabama's 5 deep. Like the whole rotation, the whole lineup can make plays from the freshmen to the seniors. Everybody is liable to make a play in that receiving room. You could say it's the best receiving room in the SEC and argue that it's the best receiving room in the nation, Kory. For being frank, to keep it real, those guys, they are dogs. So from Bernard to Horton to Williams, with the Brooks. I mean, like there's so many guys that make plays. So I'm going to say that Georgia does learn. They look at the film. They slow down this offense on third downs and get them off the field. And well, I like what I've seen from Georgia's running game to close the season. I think the rushing attack has been better. So I think Georgia will pound the ball. And ultimately, I think the Bulldogs get the win in this one. I know Alabama has dominated the series as of late. I know Kirby Smart, whether it's Nick Saban or Kalen DeBoer, has not been able to beat Alabama. But I think they get the win in this one. I can't find it in myself to pick Alabama to win. They have as much talent as anybody. So they will always be live to beat anybody. But because of how they run the football, Kory, they'll always be live to lose the lead too. They can't close games because of their play style. And I think in a game against Kirby Smart, and we know how meticulous he is and how his team prepares. And if there's one thing Kirby Smart teams can do, more times than not, they're going to find a way to win these kind of games. They fell short at home, and credit to Bama for finding a way to win that game. I'm gonna just play the odds, and I feel like if you in this opportunity, I think it favors Georgia to find a way to win this one. I think the Bulldogs win by 7, 35-28.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this game pretty much all week, Chris, and yeah, I've been pretty much talking about, um, Alabama. If they have any shred of hope to win in this game, they're gonna have to win by running the football well. And let's be honest, that's something that they haven't been able to do. They have been, quite frankly, piss poor at running the football this season. And that's big in talking about an Alabama football team that can't run the football. That's not Bama football at all. And that's, you can chalk it up and saying that's one of the reasons why they lost at the beginning of the season and they lost to Oklahoma. When you can't run the football, yeah, you're limited. And I think that's gonna be par for the course in this game. They can throw as many times as they need to. And look, that if there's anything that's going to keep them in the game, they got world class receivers that will get them downfield. But man, when they need to shorten the game, it's very hard for them to do that at times when they can't run the football and take the air out of the football against their opposing opponents. Yeah, I think overall that's going to be the uphill battle that the Crimson Tide faces in this game, Chris, is that they're going to struggle at doing that. For Georgia, looking at them at the Georgia Tech game, they were kind of making their mistakes as well too. We're just kind of looking at this team and being like, hey, can Georgia? They're winning the game, but can they play like this against Bama? Look, we've seen Georgia play in a lot of games this season that have been tightly contested, and they find ways to win the football. But guess what? They find ways to win because they can run. They can run, and I have to give them this. They have found a way, in terms of throwing the football better later in the season than they were in the beginning of the season. A little bit in the beginning of the season, they were a little hit or miss. But man, they found a spark with throwing the football with Zachariah Branch, Lucky, Oscar Delp, all those guys. Utilizing the running backs, Frazier and company, like they've found a way to also be efficient at throwing the football. So if they can play well offensively, if their offensive line can definitely have enough strain to put down Alabama, to slow down that Alabama defense, because that is one thing about Alabama. Their defense has they've definitely stepped up their game this season, outside of a few games, of course. I think Georgia has an opportunity to win. I'm gonna say I'm gonna take this line at 2.5. I I think Georgia is going to cover in this game. It's gonna be a close one, just because Georgia's gonna probably make it close. Oh, that Georgia Tech game really threw me for a loop, Chris, but they got it done. And yeah, I think they're gonna cover. It won't be an easy game to win, but I think Georgia is going to get their payback on the Crimson Tide and win this one. Give me Georgia 24, Alabama 20 in this one.
I can see it. I can see it. This could be a good old classic 2000s SEC game. Just keep it in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? Um, I can see that happening. I mean, Alabama has talent on defense. They can make plays. This is a team that's been notorious for creating turnovers this season in clutch moments. So you can't count Alabama out. You have an explosive receiving core and you have a defense that can make plays when it needs to. It sets you up to be in games. So Bama will be right there in the mix. I think another thing to keep an eye on too is, can Georgia get a pass rush? You can't let Ty Simpson sit back and let these receivers find ways to get open. You got to make life tough for Ty Simpson. We've seen him struggle when you get a pass rush. Georgia has struggled at times with the pass rush. So I'm curious to see what this defense schemes up, because you can't let Ty Simpson sit back there and just chill. You cannot. You absolutely cannot, Kory. Because I don't care if they can't run the ball. If Ty Simpson has all day to throw, Alabama's going to move the football, Kory. whether Jan Miller can run it or not, the ball's going to get downfield. And more times than not, if he has time all day, it's going to find a way into the end zone. So, Georgia, you got to get after Ty Simpson a little bit. So, that's another thing I'll be keeping my eye on.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. Look, Ty Simpson, when Jam Miller can't get downfield on you, Ty Simpson, he finds ways to scramble and get yardage, to keep to keep drives alive for the Crimson Tide. So he's been pretty much the saving grace for that rushing offense at Alabama. And Ty Simpson's not known to be that much of a runner, but he can run. That is the thing. That is their MO this season. And man, it's one of the reasons why, Ty Simpson, it has been a, fringe Heisman finalist. And I think he'll still be offered to go to New York. But yeah, I think his ability to run,
Especially if they win this game and they win that SEC
right.
championship.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they're going to need that. You're absolutely right, Chris. I think they're definitely going to need his ability to run the football to help get them to win. Get them. It doesn't even have to be that many yards. It just be a few yards to keep drives alive. Like I said, that's what he's
Those
been
third
doing.
downs.
Yeah, those
Yep.
third downs. Look, Auburn found it out that the hard way in the Iron Bowl.
Third and fourth down. They couldn't
Yeah.
get him off the field.
Exactly. So look, it's the same way for Georgia. They're gonna have to find a way to slow down Ty Simpson, Jam Miller. I think they can do it, but it's definitely gonna be a tall task, because Bama's offensive line, when they stepped up as well. So we'll see what happens. But I can't wait for this
I'm
SEC
ready. Yeah,
championship.
same. I can't wait either.
It's gonna be big, Chris. It's going to be big. But yeah, man, a great game indeed. We're going to be talking about this one on our live show. Be talking about this one and pretty much the playoffs all together, and see what happens in terms of seeding after this game. So yeah, man, should be a big one indeed. But we'll move along, Chris, to our next game, the Big 12 championship game. BYU taking on Texas Tech again. Should be a fun one, Chris. The line has Texas Tech as a 12.5 point favorite. Over under is at 49.5. So we saw what happened in this game in the regular season, Chris. Texas Tech put BYU in the woodshed. And they won that game clean out in Lubbock. This time, this game is in Dallas, neutral site field. Still gonna be very heavy with Texas Tech fans all around Jerry's World. Indeed. But hey, I know the BYU faithful will be out in this game. Overall, Chris, I think BYU will have something ready for the Red Raiders in this one. I think Coach Satake is not going to get punked out in this one. Look, he saw it all in the first game. He's like, look, you got me. You got me, Texas Tech. I think they're going to come out swinging in this one, and this game is going to be much more of a competitive game. The more competitive game that we had hoped it would be in the regular season. Um, if I had to pinpoint on who's going to win this ball game, Chris, I still think it's Texas Tech. I think this team is on a mission right now. They've been looking really, really good. Give me the Red Raiders to win this game again in the Big 12 championship. I'm going to go ahead and say Texas Tech wins 38-35. They beat BYU in a tightly contested matchup. Field goal gets them to win, and they become Big 12 champions. What? This is the last time Texas Tech's been Big 12 champions. It will be a while.
It's a great question. I can't tell you.
I have to look that up, folks. Let's see, when's the last
It's
time?
definitely been a while.
Yeah.
No, I like your assessment, Kory. I think there's a lot to learn from that first game. I'm sure BYU has labbed the film. They know what mistakes they made. This will be a much different game. I think it will be much closer. Um, my heart wants to pick BYU simply for the fact because I would love to see what is the committee going to do if BYU wins. Because that theoretically steals in that large spot for somebody. Because Texas Tech is going to make the playoff. BYU will just jump into, I would say, the top 10 and will for sure be in the playoff as well. So now you got two bids being given out to the Big 12. What will the committee do? So I selfishly like to see that scenario play out. But with my football mind, Kory, I think it'll be a closer game. I think BYU will be scrappy. I think BYU wants to slow this sucker down. They want to make this game as slow as possible, in my eyes. I think they want to keep that Texas Tech offense off the field. I think they want to establish the run. And like you said, they're not going to be no punks. They're gonna really compete and get after it at the line of scrimmage. Um, I will say another pathway for victory. They have to make Bear Morton make bad plays. They need to ramp up the pressure and make Bear Morton make mistakes, make him throw interceptions, miss open receivers because his pressure in his face, unable to convert third downs and have drives be cut short, and keep putting that Texas Tech defense on the field. Texas Tech has one of the best defenses in the nation, people. A top 10 unit. Absolutely world class defense that can play with anybody in the nation. But if you put them on the field, drive after drive, and Texas Tech can't get in the rhythm offensively, any defense will get tired. And then BYU can pounce. I think that's the game plan. Make the cut, make Texas Tech have short drives, make Texas Tech defense be on the field 6, 7, 8 minutes at a time. Wear them down and see what can happen. I'll say Tech wins this game, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring. I say Tech wins 24-21. I think it's going to be a rough dog fight. I think it's going to be a BYU paced game. It's going to be that tough, grinded out game that they'll like. But ultimately, Texas Tech has so much talent, Kory, and I think Bear Morton as a senior QB, as an older QB, he'll make the necessary plays, and Tech will get the win.
Yeah. I'm thinking that too, Chris. Yeah, I think what Bear Morton has done, and granted, he's got knocked out of the game a couple times this season. I think it just shows his toughness. I think he's going to be coming into this game looking to finish what uh, they started at Texas Tech. And I think he knows that BYU is going to come with a different game plan that's going to be much more sound to slowing down their offense. Look, when Texas Tech gets rolling, they're hard to stop. BYU found that out in the regular season when they went toe to toe with each other. I think it's going to be a little bit different in this game, and I think we're going to show we're gonna see that grittiness in Bear Morton and this Texas Tech team in general. I think they'll be ready to take on a BYU team that's pretty much seen it all from them. And yeah, I think this is going to be one of the better games of championship weekend for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just saw Texas Tech last time they won
Mm-hmm.
conference championship was 1955, folks. That
Woo!
was during the border conference. And during that time, it was Texas Tech, and they weren't even called Texas Tech at the time. They went by a whole different name. They were what do we have here? they were Texas Technological College, pretty much Texas Tech in general still. But yeah, they were in a whole conference with UTEP,
Wow.
West Texas A&M.
Wow.
Yeah, we had Abilene Christian out there.
Not Abilene. Oh
Yeah,
man,
Wichita State, Tulsa, North
this was a
Texas
different
was a
time.
part of this
Yeah.
conference. This was a whole different time, folks. Yeah, that was the last time Texas Tech won a conference championship, and then during that time in the border conference, they were one of the premier teams in that conference at the time. They had won multiple conference championships before then. So a little history lesson out there, folks. If you're curious, so if they can win this Big 12 championship, this will be their first official Big 12 championship that they've ever won. So
You got to do it. You got to bring it home.
yeah, yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I think they will, and I can even see Kory. I know, even though I said I think it'll be a 3-point win, I can see a late game TD2 to make it like a 10-point win. I can see something like that happening, but I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say Tech gets a close victory.
Yeah, I think so too. I think BYU, they're not going to go out the way that they did in the regular season. I think they're going to make this much more of a game, and that's what I'm excited in seeing. This is definitely going to be one of the premier games of the afternoon for sure. And I know we're going to be talking about it a lot, so I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, should be a fun one indeed. So yeah, Chris, we will move along to the next conference championship game. We got the ACC championship game. Duke taking on Virginia. The line has Virginia as a 4-point favorite. Over under is at 57 and a half. So we know Duke is not going to the playoffs. I don't care what Manny Diaz has said. I know you probably heard about what Manny Diaz has said about if they were to win
Man,
the ACC
he can't
championship.
help himself.
He can't. He just can't. Look, we know about Manny Diaz during our time in Mississippi State, Chris, being Mississippi State fans. Of course, he had 2 stints as the defensive coordinator down there in Starkville. And yeah, look, Manny Diaz, he look, this is a guy that always wears his heart on his sleeve, Chris. And we know he's going to be going into this game doing that as well. Does he have an opportunity to beat Virginia? I guess anybody has an opportunity to beat anybody, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Virginia is going to run circles around the Blue Devils in this ball game, and yeah, I think Virginia will solidify themselves as the top team this season in the ACC conference. Go to the college football playoffs, and yeah, it will be a big time moment for Coach Elliott and that staff there in Virginia, who's definitely went through the ringer this season in the conference for sure. So give me Virginia to win this game big, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and say Virginia wins this game. I'll go ahead and say they win 35-14.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Um, Let me be real with you, Kory. I'm putting my pick. I'm letting my heart kind of decide this one. I just have a hunch, a feeling, if you will.
You got a
I
fever?
think, yeah, I think Duke. I think Duke comes out to play some football, man. Duke has a sneaky good offense.
They do.
They have a sneaky good offense. We saw them put up points on Clemson. That was a
Mm-hmm.
shootout.
Yep.
We've seen Virginia in the shootout. We also seen Virginia struggle. Virginia's a good team, and so is Duke. That's why they're in ACC championship games. Um, Duke's a little bit of a wild card, and because I want to see Miami in the playoff, Kory, I'm gonna go with Duke. For Miami to make the playoff, I feel like Duke has to win this game because Duke won't make the playoff, and they'll knock out Virginia. And you got to have an ACC representative, Kory. You cannot have a 12-team playoff and not have one team from the ACC in the playoff. That won't go over well. That cannot happen. There will be big problems and ramifications if that happens. And I think the committee, to avoid that happening, I know they want Virginia to win, but the people want Duke to win. And damn it, let's go Blue Devils, because I need Miami in the playoffs. Because if the Canes make the playoffs, they can make this quite interesting. So because I want Miami in the playoffs, nothing to do with what I with football, I'm picking Duke. Although there is a pathway with an explosive offense that Duke has, that the Blue Devils could truthfully win this game. Because Virginia has been stagnant at times. I've seen this Virginia offense struggle. I've seen their quarterback make turnovers. If Duke can capitalize and force said turnovers and put points on the board, they can really put pressure on Virginia. Because I have yet to see Virginia really make a true comeback, play from behind. So if Duke can put the pressure on Virginia early, that can make this game very interesting. I'm gonna say the Blue Devils go out here and sneak a win, and let's get some real chaos going for Sunday, Kory.
Oh man, look, this is the point in time where I don't want to be Hunter Yurachek or any of those guys in the college football playoff committee. I don't want it. Return to sender. They can have it. I don't want that kind of scrutiny in my life, Chris. But it
You
would.
ain't wrong.
But it would make for some interesting television. Just saying. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, you're on to something, Chris. Look, I think Virginia can win this ball game easily, but I do see what you're saying. When you look at Duke, in all seriousness, when you look at Duke, they have been able to score a lot. Darren Mizza was a great get for the Blue Devils this season, and it has definitely showed that his presence out there at the quarterback position has definitely propelled them into being a very good offense and a good offensive team. So I think, hey, look, they can scare Virginia a little bit. I could see a scenario where it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for Virginia um, to try to stop Duke. But I still look at them in saying that they could win this game potentially. If not, man, that would be big time for the committee because they will have to sit down and be like, all right, do we put Miami in this? A team that's been balling. Like this Miami team looks scary. It looks like the beginning of the year Miami team,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is so weird when we look at that midpoint of Miami. What was that, Mario Cristobal? I don't even think Mario Cristobal could tell us what that was,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Right.
hey, they found that spark again. They found that bite, and they're looking good. So if something was like that to happen, I think if you're the committee, you got to put Miami in there. National brand. They've been playing some really good football. I think they're worthy of being one of the 12 best teams in the country. Put them in there. See what happens.
I mean, yeah.
So,
You know, they beat A&M. They beat a Notre Dame. They have
mm-hmm.
proven they can play with the best. They beat a Pitt.
Yeah.
They have a good resume.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to put them in. So, but for that to happen, we need chaos, baby. We need you, Duke. Everybody in Miami, Florida, and Miami Gardens, and on campus at Miami will be rooting for the Canes. So, yeah, they you well, we rooting for the Blue Devils. So, we need you. I root for Duke basketball. This weekend, I will be also rooting for Duke football to make this scenario happen because I think that's what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that whole Miami Dade County, they gonna be standing up, boy. They
Mm-hmm,
they gonna be
mm-hmm.
blasting all kinds of music. Like look, the whole soundtrack of DJ Khaled is gonna be.
gonna, be, gonna be a whole lot of Kodak Black being played.
Oh yeah, like they gonna be extra if they can watch those Blue Devils take down Virginia. That's gonna be big time for Miami. So hey, I know they're gonna be watching it. We're gonna be watching it as well, Chris. This is an interesting ACC. This is probably one of the more interesting ACC championship games in a while, even more so than last year, and that had SMU and Clemson, and both of those teams actually went to the 12-team playoffs, so they kind of cancel each other out.
Right, right.
Yeah, I think a lot of moving parts can happen with the playoffs depending on this one game. So that's the reason why this game is very interesting to watch as well, Chris. So, man, I just love this point of the season, Chris, where you're getting chaos either way, potentially.
Exactly, exactly.
I love it. I love it. I want more of this. It's appointment viewing during this time of the season. But yeah, man, we will see, Chris, what happens in this one indeed. So now, Chris, we're gonna move into the final Power Four championship game of this weekend. Big Ten championship. Indiana taking on Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Two undefeated teams. Somebody got to come out of this game with a loss, Chris.
Somebody gotta go.
Exactly. That O will turn into a 1. and that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, Chris, the line has Ohio State as a 4-point favorite. Over under is at 47.5. So who you got in this one, Chris? Well, what we're looking at, the two undefeated teams trying to stay undefeated. Who you got?
This is an interesting game. Um, I mean, Ohio State's roster up and down is literally nothing but 4 and 5 star players. I think you have a few, and I mean a few, like three stars. Like they don't have any 3 star guys for real. Nothing but blue chippers, Kory. Um, so the talent is on the side of Ohio State. Ryan Day is an excellent coach. but there is a little bit of a shakeup going on in that staff. I mean, Brian Hartline is the new head coach at South Florida. So you have a little bit of a disturbance in the coaching staff. Um, so that is something to keep an eye on with how Ohio State performs now with someone, with things, with some changes taking place. And then also, Kory, we know that Indiana, Coach Cincinnati, Coach C is one of the best in the game too. He can dial up a great game plan, offensively and defensively. His staff can put great game plans together. You have the potential Heisman winner as the quarterback for Indiana, going against a five-star kid and someone who's gotten better as the season has progressed, and Julian Sand. Um, this is an interesting battle, and I think if you are someone who looks at Indiana and you respect what Coach C is doing, I can see how you make the case that Indiana can win this game. I mean, it's very possible. It might not be likely or probable, but I think it's very much so possible. And I do anticipate Indiana coming out playing a disciplined, tough game. Putting the pressure on Julian saying you can't just let him sit back there and chill. And I think you're going to have to trust your secondary. It sounds crazy, but you're going to have to trust your secondary to make plays, Kory. You're going to have to trust them against those great receivers in Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. And that, I think, will decide this game for Indiana. Can those guys get the pass deflections, get them off the field on third down, limit them? They're going to get off a few times just because they're that great. But can you limit the damage? And if you can do so, I think you have a chance. I know Ohio State has, I think, the best defense in the nation. But you got to put respect on Indiana and this team's offense and what Mendoza has been doing this season. I think Indiana will have a game plan together to make things tough on this Ohio State defense, to stress this defense. And I think they'll play a tough game. Ultimately, I'm a side with Ohio State because I have a lot of respect for Ryan Day with what he's done as a coach. And he is a national championship winning coach. He's someone that's proven to adapt. Because I feel like him and his staff, they changed the offense going into the playoff, Kory, last season. This became a different team. And to have that willingness to adapt in the middle of the season says a lot about Ryan Day and his awareness and the read he has on his players. So I'm gonna give that respect to Ryan Day, and I say that the Buckeyes win a close game. I think the Buckeyes win by 7. I'm gonna go ahead and say Ohio State gets a 27-20 win. I think Indiana will put a valiant effort up, make this game tough, and will be a few plays away from winning. It's gonna come down to a few plays. Indiana's a great team. I just think Ohio State, when you look at the staff and the talent gap, I think the Buckeyes will get the dub in this one. But it'll be a fun game.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm definitely with you, Chris. I think this game is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be close as well. Just because Kurt Signetti is a heck of a football coach, I think he's going to test Ohio State's offense. And yeah, I think he's also going to test that defense as well. I don't think Mendoza and company, they're going to, let the foot off the gas in this one. This is the Big Ten championship game. I think they got a shot um, at stopping Ohio State, but I think overall, I think Ohio State is just going to have a little bit more in the tank, a little bit more gas in the tank to win this game. Give me Ohio State to win this game. I'm going to go ahead and say um, 28-24. I think they'll win. And I just think this team is on a mission. Ever since the beginning of the season, Ohio State beating Texas in Columbus showcased a lot out of them. It was one thing of looking at that game and saying like, "Hey, what's going on with Arch Manning?" Another thing in looking at what Julian saying and company did, that was Julian's first start at Ohio State. He had a lot to overcome too, and ever since that game, we've just seen Ohio State just be better on their side each and every week, Chris. And I think we're gonna see that too. And we're gonna have to put a lot of respect on a guy like Julian saying his name because he's definitely helped get them to this point. Give me Ohio State to win. I think they're playing some really good football right now.
Yeah. No, I like your analysis. Like you said, we do have to give Julian Sayin credit. Someone who was in a battle this offseason to be the starting QB ultimately proved himself and said battle this offseason and has made the coaches feel good about their pick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
is played, has risen to the occasion. I mean, like you said, week after week, has grown and continue to play better football. And so, you have to give your flowers, give him his flowers, give him his credit for a first year starter to play the way he's played this season. So, he can steal the show. Everybody, all eyes will be on Mendoza, and because of how great he's been, this is an opportunity for Julian Sayin to make his name a household name. I feel like, and ultimately, maybe make him the front runner for next year's Heisman Trophy, Kory.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be crazy not to put him in that discussion. And look, we already know Archman is probably going to be in that discussion as well. But yeah, I think what we're seeing from Julian saying is another one of those generational quarterbacks for Ohio State. He's definitely going to show up and show out in this one because they're going to need him to. And with having Chris Olave, um, having Jeremiah Smith, look, you got the tools to be one of those premier teams in college football again. So, yeah, it, definitely giving me Ohio State to win this one. I think they're gonna do um, a really good job. And not Chris Olave. It'd be crazy if Chris Olave was still on this team. Cornell Tate.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah. Well, Ave was on this team, or shoot, JSN or somebody. Boy, hey, it get real ignorant out there.
I know,
We see
I
what
know.
we with JSN that made Sam Darnold brought him back to life.
Exactly. I know, man. Look, with the way that Ohio State has whispered receivers into this program, it wouldn't phase me at all to see a Chris Olave type player come back into the fold. I mean, Cornell Tate, he already gives you those vibes along with Jeremiah Smith and others. So hey, it's Ohio State. This is what they do best.
It is what they do. It is what they do. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Buckeyes get the win, and hey, this could be the national championship game. I know it sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
Indiana's for real. I think I think everybody will walk away saying that Indiana's for real from their performance in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you, Chris. So yeah, man, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens in this one, but I'm excited. Should be a fun one indeed. So yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
But yeah, that's the Big Ten championship. We will now move on to our final two games, Chris. We got some of the Group of Five
Mm-hmm.
championship games. These two are very, very interesting and important into what can happen in terms of getting that one G5 member into the 12-team playoff fold. North Texas and Tulane taking on each other in the American Conference Championship, Chris.
Woo.
The line has North Texas as a 2.5 point favorite. Over
Mm-hmm.
under is at 66.5. So they already look, Vegas is already saying, look, this is gonna be a lot of points being scored in this game.
I
And who
think
can
Vegas
blame
is
them?
right.
Yeah, who could blame him? I think this game is going to be a barn burner by the end of it. But yeah, Chris, who you got in this one? I think this game is going to be very interesting because you got Jake Retzlaff taking on Drew Maker. I mean, we've heard about Drew Maker. This guy can sling it. This this guy is a baller, and a lot of people didn't know who Drew Maker was up until this season. So, who
Mm-hmm.
we got? What we looking at in this game?
Shoot, even his high school didn't know who they had with him.
For high school, I bet they're just like, man, we could have won like 4 state championships. We could have been cooking with this guy.
Man, this is a good game. I think I fear. I don't want it to be the case, but I fear with everything that's been going on with John Summerall, I think it will be a factor
Mm-hmm.
in this game. I know he's committed to coaching this team. He's done things very professionally. Tulane has been more than accommodating and allowing him to help with the team. You know, he's accepted the job at Florida. Um, so I know the players understand and respect this decision. I think these guys will be locked in. They know this is their chance. So I think the guys will be locked in, but that is a factor. So there is that there is that is going on in the locker room. Outside of that, too, Kory, just X's and O's wise, man, North Texas has an offense. And I know John Summerall's a defense guy, and I know he might still be in the facilities now, labbing. I mean, I know they are labbing up a game plan, and they will make things tough for North Texas. But just as tough as they'll make it for them, I think North Texas is going to cause problems for this Tulane defense. And over the course of the game, I feel like North Texas will get it together. And I don't think Tulane is set up for a shootout with North Texas, truthfully. Tulane can put points on the board, but they don't want to get in no shootout with you. That's not their style of play. I think North Texas, I think they win this game. I really do. They have the receivers, they have the deep threats, the explosive players. I mean, this team, they can get down the field in 3 plays, and you're like, wow, what happened? So if if there's any lapse of focus on this Tulane defense, I think North Texas will take advantage. And it's a very real possibility that North Texas gets ahead of Tulane 10 zip, 14 zip in the first quarter. And you're sitting back as Tulane like, what the hell just happened? And now you are like in a game. And that can mess with you. We'll really see what Tulane is made of if that happens. I'm gonna side with North Texas. I'm gonna side with North Texas. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I see. Oh man, it's gonna sound crazy. I see them winning big. I see it being 42-28. North Texas. I think they went by a couple TDs, Kory.
Hey, if they have that, those people out there in Denton, Texas, man, look, they're gonna be throwing parties. Oh my gosh, those people will be so excited they wouldn't even know how to act. Oh man, like look, it's a big possibility, Chris. This North Texas team, they can score a lot of points, and they make it look so easy.
Yes.
I bet the
Yes.
rest of the country is like, man, how y'all make this look easy? It's what we do. It's what we do.
Explosive, man. They are explosive.
Yeah, they definitely are, and that's definitely going to be tough for Tulane to try to stop Chris. And yeah, like you said, how much are, the whole thing about um John Summerall going to Florida and all of that being a distraction to the players. You hope it's not a distraction, but you also don't want them to be unfocused about what's to come because If they can become unfocused in this game, and North Texas is up like by 7, 14 points, yeah, you're in trouble. You're looking around, at your players trying to figure out, hey, how can we get back in this game? How do we get here? So, I think overall, I think Tulane is going to be ready to play this game. They know what's at stake. So, that's what's going to make this game an interesting ball game in the G5, just because there is a lot at stake. They're trying to get into the playoffs as well, just like North Texas is trying to get a little sliver of a chance, and there is a chance that they can get in there. So it's gonna be style points, Chris. That's where it comes down to in the G5, style points.
You got to run the score up. You got
Yep.
to run it up
Mm-hmm.
if you can.
Exactly. Yeah, if you can, if you can. So yeah, man. If I had to choose, I have to go ahead and say it, Chris. Give me North Texas in this game to win. I'm gonna go ahead and say North Texas wins this game 42 to 35. I think it's gonna be close, but North Texas is going to prove that they can score more than Tulane, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this
Yeah. No, I see it, man. It's going to be a lot of points put on the board. I can see, I would say take the over in this one. I think points will be scored in bunches. And I wouldn't be shocked, man, if I would be shocked if North Texas runs off on Tulane. I'm just being honest with you. No slight to Tulane as a team. They've had a great season.
one. Absolutely.
I just we are all humans, Kory, and I can see the light shining extra bright if they get punched in the face early, and now you're a little rattled, and next thing you know, man, it's you kind of getting ran off the field, and you could potentially lose this game big. I see a pathway for North Texas to really shock Tulane. So I think it'll be a fun game. Like you, I'm going with North Texas.
Nice, nice. So yeah, man, we will see. We will see what happens in this one, but it should be a fun game indeed. I can't wait to watch this one on Friday. As you guys are tuning in watching this episode of the Breakdown Sportscast. This game will probably be going on or already concluded, and we'll find out who will be the winner of the American Athletic Conference. So should be a fun one indeed. So, yeah, man. We will move on, Chris, to the last G5 game that we have on the docket. That's also interesting. Troy taking on James Madison in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. The line has James Madison as a 23.5 point favorite. Over under is at 46.5. Chris, James Madison has been balling all season in the conference. We've heard about Bob Chesney. He's going to UCLA. So, that that also comes with its own level of distraction. You got
Yep.
these G5 coaches doing some great work, getting some bigger opportunities. Shout out to all of those gentlemen out there in putting in the work. But James Madison, they want to get it done too. They have an outside chance, Chris, to also make it into the college football playoff. It's going to be about style points, like I said in the North Texas Tulane game. Can James Madison get those style points that they need to win this ball game, Chris? They're a 23.5 point favorite.
Yes, they are, and for good reason. I think they do get the style points, Kory. Troy is a tough team that made things very difficult for Clemson when they matched up earlier in the season. They had Clemson looking around like, what is going on here? It was like 16-0 at one point. Um, Granted, this is a bad Clemson team, but for Troy to come into Clemson and have that kind of game does speak to the type of team this is. And this is a team that you can't take lightly. If you give them the opportunity, they will make plays. They have athletes. This is Troy we're talking about. This is where guys who you might not have the grades or some things got in the way of you going to one of the P4 schools. So you might end up at Troy. So they got players now. You know what I'm saying? They got some guys. Uh, we'll see how this team performs in this moment. But I think James Madison, JMU, electric offense. They understand what's at stake. This team has an identity. Points will be scored in bunches. I think James Madison does get the style points. I'm a big believer in James Madison. This is a team, Kory. We highlighted James Madison in the offseason as a team to be on the lookout for. We've always had our eyes on them, and I think they win big. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, 49-10. I think James Madison puts belt to ass, and I believe James Madison should be in the playoffs. Now, will that happen? We'll see. But I believe James Madison is the team in the G5 that should be in the playoffs. The BCS computers, they like them as well. Um, it'll be curious to see how things shake out because North Texas also has a case before this game happens against Tulane. So I mean, there's a lot that the committee will have to sort out. Like you said, it is of the utmost importance, the style points in this one, Kory, because that will probably determine which one of these three schools will make the playoff. But in this game, I see James Madison winning big.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, Chris. One thing to note in terms of this game, in terms of the timing, this game will actually be the first of one of the games on Friday. So you have James Madison Troy at 6 p.m. North Texas Tulane, the American Championship will be on at 7 p.m. So they're gonna kind of be going neck and neck. So if you're the
There'll be a little
committee,
scoreboard looking at halftime. How many points we need? How much more we need to beat them by?
look, if you're the committee, there's no excuse. You better be watching film. You better be watching both of these games to see who has the most style points. You better be factoring that in because if you're not factoring that in, I don't know what you're doing, committee.
They don't know what they're doing either, Kory.
No. I don't think they know. If they screw this up, man, talk about worst committee yet.
The criteria changes every week.
It does. It definitely does. Man. And look, we can talk about the whole Ole Miss and losing Lane Kiffin and seeing on that. How's that factor in when you look at a team like Florida State who lost their quarterback, but still had their head coach and everyone intact? All of that is a smorgasbord of conversation. So, yeah, they're gonna have to be looking at these games simultaneously to see who matches up well in terms of getting that 12th and final spot. So, I think James Madison, heck of a season they've had. I think they can get the job done over Troy. And look, Gerard Parker at Troy, heck of a football coach there for the Trojans. Yeah, like we saw them almost beat Clemson. That was big. So they deserve to get this spot to hopefully take down James Madison. We'll see, but I think overall, if we had to flip a coin, I think James Madison wins this game cleanly, and we see what happens in terms of them getting that nod to go to the CFP. That'll be big for that program if so, because they've been balling for the last several years. James Madison has been putting great production on the football field. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, Chris, those are the big games coming up this week in championship week. I know we got a
Mhm.
couple, other ones that we didn't mention. The Conference USA Championship, Mountain West Championship. Look, you got Dan Mullen, first year at UNLV, Chris, taking on Boise State in the Mountain West Championship. Boise, 4.5 point favorite. Total over under is at 58.5. Yeah, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say I like UNLV's chances. It'll be a
Yeah,
big opportunity for Dan Mullen to win that one. So give me that one. I'll take that as a G5 Bolton's bets.
yeah. No, no, we rocking with UNLV for sure.
Yeah.
They have some talented players. So
Mhm.
now let's see UNLV go get the dub. And hey, I'm curious if I mean Dan Mullen first season double digit wins. Mess around and does that again next year. How long is Dan Mullen gonna be in UNLV, Kory? You might be getting a call from somebody pretty soon if he keep doing that.
Yeah. Look, I almost thought he was gonna get the call to go to Penn State. Look, it's not like Dan can't mess around and that like he's not from the state of Pennsylvania.
Hey, it might get to that point the way everybody keeps saying no. I mean, shoot,
They gonna
they were the
force.
first to fire and they're gonna be the last to hire.
Oh man, it's gonna force Mullen into making the decision. Like, all right, you're like, look, you took this long. I'll guess I'll go up there to Happy Valley. All right. Oh man, but yeah, man, yeah, we got that one. Kennesaw State taking on Jacksonville State in the Conference USA Championship.
Give me
Um,
Jacksonville State.
yeah. The spread has Kennesaw State's 2.5 point favorite. Totals at 60.5. So yeah, I think Kennesaw State's been playing some really good football. Of course, they're 9-3. Jacksonville
Hmm.
State 8-4.
That's a good
I'll,
game.
I'll say Jacksonville State to win that one. So
Yeah. Take the points. Yeah. That's a really good team for real though. Jacksonville State.
yeah.
They've come on to close the season,
Hmm.
and the defense can clamp you up. So I like what they got going on that way. So I'm rock with Jacksonville State. Shout out to Kennesaw though.
Yeah.
Both teams have had great seasons, but I
Hmm.
think that's going to be a fun game too. Will be slept on, underrated game.
Yeah. And just note, Jacksonville State beat Kennesaw State earlier in the season, 35-26. So another one of those running back style conference championship games, Chris. So yeah, I love it. I love when we get the running back in the conference
Yes, sir.
championship.
Yeah. This is the rematch.
Exactly. We have remixes and just label them as conference championship games. I love it. Oh man, but yeah, man, it should be a fun one indeed. But yeah, Chris. Great, great episode talking about championship week. I can't wait for us to talk about it live. Run through all of these games to talk about seeding in the CFP and also some of these bowl games coming up as well. So we're gonna have a smorgasbord of news in terms of the postseason. I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. Well, another great episode, indeed. Like I said, before we head out of here, Chris, we got some outros. Let the good
Mm-hmm.
folks know where they can find you on social media.
Holla at your boy on X, or as I call it, Twitter, Chris underscore Bolton underscore 12, and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton underscore.
Awesome. Definitely follow Chris on there. And yeah, folks, you can find me on X at Listen to KSW. I'm on there talking college football, video games, professional wrestling, of course, all of that. So yeah, definitely find me on there, guys. And yeah, we will be back on Sunday going over championship week, talking about the college football playoff seeding. We'll find out who's going to be playing who in the 12-team playoff in turn, and also we'll also be talking about bowl games as well. Who's going to be playing who in some of these big bowl games coming up? So yeah, guys, definitely follow us on Sunday when we go live to go over everything and discuss all of those big news topics coming up this weekend. So So yeah, guys, we appreciate you as always. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the video. Let us know what's your favorite game that you're ready to watch this weekend, and yeah, we'll definitely chime with you guys on there and all of our socials as well. But until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later.
Peace.